back to another segment of Barber Clips podcast. As usual, this is Ivy Mac with me.
Yo, boy, Face by Morales.
Yeah.
Tu servidor.
Yes.
Ya tú sabes.
The Mexican Master P.
Uh,
As MMA would say it. Shout out to MMA.
Yeah, shout out to the homie.
I don't think I've called it out, but if you have not checked out my video on the Masters battle that he was able to supply me with, a cordless master to be able to do it for y'all, make sure you go check that out on my channel. Shout out to MMA for that. You'll know why if you watch the video. All right, so today's segment, it's a different one. We're changing it up. We have taken somebody's idea from the comment section, just like we said we would. AAC 480 told us or shared with us that'd be a good idea for us to have a segment called Fades or Flops, aka we judge people's haircuts. Now, we felt a little iffy about this in the beginning, right? Because we're like, we don't know if we should be just jumping into people's IGs or YouTubes and just judge.
You're a little more conservative than me. I'm all for it. Yeah. Hey, if it's not good, I'm gonna tell you it's not good because that's how you get better.
Guaranteed. But some people don't like to hear if they need to get better or not. And I respect that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, they probably don't want to hear it coming from me because I ain't that good. But
no, well, they might think we're not good. They might think we're not good. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you know what? So what's the best way to do that? By starting with our own, right?
Exactly.
All right.
So what we're gonna do is there's two things here. We're gonna go into our own pages and judge some of our own haircuts. One, okay,
exactly.
And then we may jump into a couple people because we did share this out to a few friends that we have out there in the world and say, hey, would you mind or you want to be a part of this? And they were down with it. So with this episode, I think that if this really works out and if y'all like this, we can make this into something consistent. Maybe we skip every other week or maybe we do this weekly. But the whole thing I'm trying to put out there is we want to know who here would like for us to go into their IG pages. This is how we're going to do it. And just go to their old and new haircuts and just see what the difference has been. Maybe just pick out a random haircut and just talk about if it's a fade or a flop. That's it. So if you want to be a part of this concept of this segment, drop it down below, drop down your IG and say, hey, I'd like for you to judge my haircuts. That's it. It's as easy as that.
Cool. Right. And you want to go to Barber's Barber Clips _ podcast.
Yes.
On Instagram and message there. Yes. Say rate my cut, and then we'll know what to do.
Yeah, we'll have your IG page directly there. You can drop the IG link down below, or just send us a message and we'll have your IG page right off the bat. And make sure you follow us. Okay, right. While you're there.
Make sure you follow.
Exactly. So without further ado, we're gonna get into this. And Fades here decided to be the guinea pig for this to start us off with. So we're gonna get started with him. Let me share screen with y'all. We already have his page up and everything, and we have his very first haircut that he decided to share with the world. Is that it, or am I tripping?
That's it.
All right.
All right. So what we're looking at the wall legends. Okay. At this time, this was my wall legend. So the Super Tipper 2000s and the wall seniors with the 3 holes and everything, all of that was gone. Even the Fade Masters, I was done with all of that. By the time I got to this point, this is all wall legends right here. This is a number 3. I believe a number 3 on top, skin fade. Okay. Mid skin fade.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you, what are some of the flaws that you see in this haircut?
I see that I didn't go high enough with my half guard, which was my number one problem. My number one problem when I first started. I felt like my half guard, I never went up high enough with it. Okay. So that led to shadows right here in that area right there. Can you see my mouse?
I can't see your mouse. But are we talking about the back or the front? I can
Yeah, right there. Yeah. You see them. You see those shadows right there. And over to the right a little bit more, right in there. Yep. Those shadows.
Yep.
Those would have been eliminated with the half guard.
Yep. Right here. That's that magic eraser, bro. Yeah, I could see it, but it's not like blatantly out there. Does that make sense? It's not like in your face. This is not, to me, this is not a chili bowl of any sort, way, shape, or form. It's not even anything close. I could tell you that I see barbers who charge $40, $50 for a haircut, giving much worse haircuts than this, in a barbershop setting, and their customers more than happy. Was this person happy with that haircut? Let me ask you that.
Oh yeah, that's my nephew. He loves it.
Exactly.
Let's go on to the next one. If you press that next arrow, these are all my first ones.
Oh, okay. Man, you were clean with it since the beginning, though. I do see the half guard situation, though. I know that's because you told me. That's because you told me, though. Now I see the half guard. Like, I see the half guard, like you struggling with not using the half guard enough.
And look at the fatness of the back line. Okay, so this one right here. Yeah, you see that right there?
Yeah.
You see how fat that back line is?
The design.
Which I don't mind doing fat lines and skinny lines. Yeah. But you could tell that line wasn't supposed to be fat. It just ended up being fat. Back then, you know my trimmer was, dog? It was the Styleliner 2s.
Oh.
Styleliner 2s.
I've heard good things about those. I've never used them.
I love them, fool, but they're so loud.
I've heard they're loud and they're hard to set.
Very hard. Impossible to set and to keep set. Impossible. Okay. So yeah, they're hard to maneuver too because they don't have a 360 blade like all the other ones now.
So let's go back to these two haircuts. Are these fades or flops to you?
That one's a flop.
This one's a flop to you?
Yeah. Because you can see all of that weight in the back underneath that design. The design wasn't clean on the bottom. Back then, I didn't even understand that you want to use your trimmer for the top and then use the razor for the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah. So
this texture hair, because if not, it looks like spikes on the bottom if you use your trimmer.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So there's that one. So that one's a flop. That one's, I'd say it's a flop because it wasn't spread out enough.
I'd say this is a fade. For sure. It would still be hard for me to call this a flop. The reason why, okay, is see this weight up here, this right here, see this right here. You know how many people just can't do that for no reason, or they do it and it leaves a big bulky line here. And some people do it on purpose. I know it's a very big thing in Europe to leave that line right there, like that heavy weight of line that's very obvious to the bottom.
Yeah, the shelf or whatever.
The shelf, exactly. But then there's also people who take it all the way up because they're not trying to mess with it. You've known how to do this since you started cutting hair, and you know how to do it much better now. I could share that, and we'll go into one of your latest cuts just so everybody else can see it. But I would still consider this a fade, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be mad at my barber if he gave me this haircut. Maybe the line, yeah, a little bit, but I don't get designs on my head, so it wouldn't have mattered to me.
You would if you were 7.
Yeah, that's true. So let's go into one of your most current cuts, and let's take a look at it. Bam. Ooh, look at him filling himself in the mirror. I got a question for you. Did you do that thing on his eyebrow, or is that a real putazo that he has on his eyebrow?
That's real.
that's
real. Yeah, that's a
that's
putazo.
Fair. Yeah, he didn't know that was gonna be a thing, huh?
No. Hey, but I also want to mention right now that I'm the very first one to ever do that mirror.
Yeah,
that's true. The mirror in the picture of the fade and the mirror. Now think about it. You get to see the lineup and you get to see the fade.
Yeah,
how is that not perfect? How do not more people do this, dog?
I've been letting it simmer before I start doing it, so it doesn't feel too obvious that I'm copying you. Just
no, hey, I don't care. I don't care if anybody copies me.
I'll shout you out. I'm like, I'm gonna put a copyrights thing down below. You know what I mean? So I'm just messing with you.
But you get to show both aspects, dog. Yep. Hey, I think it's perfect.
Yep.
But I mean, maybe a bigger mirror though. That mirror's so small.
I also don't have a big mirror. If we're being honest, I need to get myself a bigger mirror. It's much needed. Okay, so this haircut.
Also, this haircut right here.
Yeah.
So I had cut his hair about a week before, and none other than Timeless Vic himself. He said to me, he was like, "Hey, bro, In the back, you need to run that clipper over comb and not round it off so much. So this right here was with the corrections from
After
the
the
man.
corrections. I was about to say,
After the corrections.
man, you be getting
From
coached by Vic. That's next level right there. How do you do
hey,
that? How do you get to do that?
hey, he's an approachable vato. He's a real vato.
Yeah.
A lot of these people, dog, you think about it. S-Craft Blend is giving me tips. Timeless Vic, Frank the Barber. That vato's super approachable. Well, we all know that Ant the Barber, that's the homie. Big Al, he'll give me hella tips too. Tank be
That's right.
chopping. All of them vatos, they be giving tips. So, cause I'm not a closed mouth, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get fed because I'm gonna be asking, and I'm gonna be asking. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Well,
hey,
that's the only way you get better. That's the only way.
exactly.
Yep. And I'm
So
sorry if my camera is super distracting. I know that it keeps going off and on. I'm having this week we've been having some technical difficulties. I know you've seen it in the previous episodes. I don't know what it is, but this internet don't want to work with us apparently. I also changed to dial up just because I didn't want Fates to feel bad all alone.
yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, bro.
I got you, bro. I got you. Okay, so those were some of Fade's cuts. I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet and show you some of mine since we're at it. Let me take you back to my page. All right. So this is my son finally letting me actually cut his hair. And when I say finally letting me actually cut his hair, is like me putting like a trimmer and letting me line him up, because before this it was a struggle. You know what I mean? It wasn't
Dang, he
very.
looks so young there.
Yeah, he was
He was 3.
early threes. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks
So
3.
early 3-year-old, letting him what there's not a lot of 3-year-olds out there rocking a nice edge up out there with the taper like this. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. And you know why? It's because they don't let you do it to them. It's a hard haircut to do on a tiny little kid like that, unless they have habits, right? It's been embedded into them to get a haircut. But
Damn,
I do
that's
see
hella
some.
clean.
It's clean, but I do see some mistakes on it. So here's what I see. Okay. His hair grows extremely light in the front, like so light that I have to, and I've learned this now, to go with a much higher guard in the front. Um, and also skip guards when I'm doing his fade in the front. So when I'm talking about that is I'm talking about this front area here. So kind of where his C cup, right above his C cup is, because if not, look at this front edge up. See how it just looks like there's nothing there almost, but it's crispy. I promise you, if you go deep or in person, if you go in, you can see a nice clean hook. You know what I mean? But from afar on a picture, you can't see it because his hair is so light. So I had to learn that, you know, with time, I need to let the front of his hair just kind of, you know, do his thing and just grow a little bit longer. It's all baby hair in the front, like 100% baby hair. And then the other thing is his ears. See this, his hair grows down and then towards the back. So what I used to do is I used to edge him up from the front to the back, and like I would just struggle with getting that, like that the circle,
the long hairs.
yeah, the long hairs.
Uh-huh.
So what I do now is I put a comb to it, and then
Push it down.
push it. Yeah. Well, what I do is I'll taper it with the comb. I'll pull it with the comb and just taper it with the
And
trimmer
pull
a
it
little
up.
bit. Yep. And then I go against it to cut the hair off, so it's a nice crispier line. But yeah, this was the first haircut that I put out. What do you think? Do you think it's a fade or a flop?
That's a freaking fade, no manches, man. That's
Some
clean.
of those pictures are nice. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's actually a pretty nice fade.
Yeah, that's good.
I kept it heavy too, and I usually don't. I usually stretch my fades out a lot too.
You're freaking really good at photography.
You know, it's funny is half of these pictures are after he got up. So like, I want to say this picture, he's like walking towards me. I'm like, let me take a picture of your hair, dude.
Right.
Like walking behind him.
You
Like,
can
let me
pick
get a
that good
picture.
lighting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying.
You're so good. You're so good at photography, dog.
I'll be trying.
Like, for real.
And then let's see some of my later cuts. Probably be these. Let's see. This one, because this is actually, I've been judged for this picture before in both good and bad ways. Somebody told me that it looked hideous how I left so much weight on the top right here, and that this was not blended out. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
I see it. I see the weight there, but I kind of left that weight there on purpose,
On
to be
purpose.
honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I wanted it to have that like burst effect. And if I
Right,
would have
right.
taken it up too much, it would have just looked like a, I don't know, it would have looked
Just like
wrong.
a number one all the way up. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Like I did that almost the exact same haircut today, and it's in my
Did you?
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was
I
my
let
first burst fade
exactly.
too. This was my very first time ever doing a burst fade. This picture right here.
Dang, I didn't know you did a burst fade on this vato because when you
Yeah.
did the detachable challenge,
I was
I was,
going to, and I backed out of it.
I
I
swear
backed
to
out of it.
God,
That's his haircut.
in
He now gets a burst every time.
in my head, I was like, damn, this is a perfect candidate for a burst.
Oh,
And
we'll see.
I never seen this. I never seen this right here.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
might have seen it, but
he
I
gets a
didn't
burst
remember.
fade now. He actually asked for it now. It's fun fact about him is before I started cutting his hair, he would just take a clipper closed all the way to the top of his bun area. So that was his haircut. Just so y'all know. Also, it took me like 5 times cutting his hair and me begging him to let me give him an edge up. And he's like, you could do it, but if you push any hair back, even one, I'm gonna be very not happy. So this edge up is as natural. He's the person that I give the most natural edge up to as much as I can. Look, you can see here that it's rounded out because he has no hair there. And I could take this back a little and give it a nicer, like a boxier look,
Uh-huh.
but I would be pushing him back.
I would have.
I would be pushing him back and he would not like it. I would rather give him what he wants. You know what I mean? When it comes to a haircut like that.
I
Plus,
would
you
be
know how I
like,
feel
yeah,
about C cups.
yeah. But why you call them C cups?
Hooks, C cups. It's because everyone calls them C cups nowadays. I used to call them hooks forever too.
I know.
Yeah.
And when Vic, Timeless Vic, when he was like, everybody's calling these things C cups now. I don't even know why they call them C cups. Hey, and it's so true,
That's
dog.
true.
Why was when one person says something, we all have to say it?
Well,
Like
it's a catchy word, C cup, and it makes sense. C cup.
C cups to me is some breastises.
Well, it sounds like you're talking about
And then hooks. Hey, and then when everybody says, all right, here I go attacking this line.
See,
like what?
But here's the
What
thing,
do you
though.
mean attacking his line?
Yeah, please don't attack them.
You're back in the day, I used to be a battle rapper. Your boy used to be a battle rap champ. Attack was my name.
This is not attacking. This is not something you want to attack.
Yeah, exactly. So attack was my name because they would be like, hey, attack,
Yeah.
But when it came, the bottom line, let's start attacking it. Like, what the hell you mean? Let's start taking it out,
Yeah. Start erasing it. I say erasing.
Erasing,
blending it out.
Let's blend in this bottom line.
Yeah.
We don't have to attack it.
But yeah, like I said, I've gotten really good feedback about this, and I've also gotten really harsh feedback about this.
I like it.
I like it too. I personally, this is one of my favorite.
That's a fade.
And that's a fade. And here's the deal: is this is super natural. Like, just that's the other thing is.
What do you mean? Like it's the Walking Dead?
It is, bro. It's coming from space. No,
okay.
but like
supernatural.
every edge up that you see here, even this back, like most
I
people
love it.
get this. They will do this. They would do the opposite of the circle, right? Or they would take this and just cut that bitch like all the way to like there'd be no roundness there. And if the roundness was, it would be very unnatural. It'd be very like you made that shape. I can't do that with him. So I still had to create this effect of sharp while giving him a burst fade. And
look at the boy Jay Blends. Okay.
Yeah, he's in there. Give me some good feedback too.
That's what's up.
So that's a couple of my haircuts. Do we have anyone else that we want to share?
The homie 24 karat fades.
24K.
24K fades. The homie David. Yeah. That homie gets down.
Hey.
He's part of the Cojonudos. Shout out to the Cojonudos one more again.
Yep, if you didn't hear it last time.
Look at him. Look at that one.
Man,
but that's that. Hey, go back to his first ones though.
Okay, let's go back to some of the first ones he posted. And let's talk about the growth and what we can see from here. Because y'all don't know this about my man here, but we've known him since he was to himself saying he was struggling with cutting hair, or he was new to cutting hair, and he still had a lot of things that he thought he should be working on. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey.
this IG account, you can't see that because his haircuts are clean. Like, so this is the first one that's an actual fade because the other ones are not fades. Okay, let's break it down.
All
This
right.
is about a year ago. Okay, he hasn't been cutting for that long. Y'all have to know that too. You know what I mean? In the shop setting.
Right, right. He was like barely in school when we
Yep.
met him, like.
Yep. So this is a year ago. What do you think?
Is there another one? Is that like, does it go to the next picture or is that it?
It's a different one.
That's it?
It's a different one on the next one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Go back. I was good then. Okay. So what I see is open lever fear. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in that area right there, can you highlight it?
Yep.
Right there. Open lever. He was so timid with it that he didn't bring it up high enough.
Yeah.
Right there, I would bring that open lever. Now, knowing what I know now, back then, I'm probably the same, you know, but knowing what I know now, I'd bring that open lever and start working that up higher. So, okay, when I set my system in, and by system, I mean the entire guard system for whatever clipper I'm using for that haircut. So let's say for wall example, I go to the one open, blah, blah, blah. You know, I do the entire system, but then I'd come back, even though I've already run the half guard, then I'd come back after everything is done, run the half guard higher, dog.
You take it higher?
I always take my half guard higher. And that's why I love the Legends so much, because I get to bring that all the way up to, like I said earlier, to the number 3. But what he needed to do was open that lever all the way and run it up right in there. Exactly.
What I see, I do see that. But what I see is he may have been a little conservative with the with the open lever. But I think he was a little not conservative enough with his one guard.
Oh, his one guard, yeah. His one guard open, he went too high with it. Yeah.
And it's not that it's bulky here. There's some bulk there, right? But
Right,
it's
right.
not that. That's the extension of it. This is all one guard right here. Like all this is one guard. This bottom part is a half guard right here, but then this is all one guard. So he put too big of a guideline for the one guard.
Right. He took his one guard.
So
yeah,
we were talking about
see
this,
that,
right? With like the stretch fades. Like you can overstretch a fade. This is overstretching a fade. To your point, if he would have stretched out the open lever and then brought in the half guard even a little higher, this would have been a beautiful stretch blend.
Yep, it
right?
would have.
But
yeah, it would have been a little hard up top.
Yeah,
he still needed to run. Yeah.
But it still would have looked better.
It still would have looked a lot better. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So now that we've ripped this man's heart apart, let's go ahead and if you're not following him, 24K fades. David, my man from Florida. Cool.
Damn,
dude.
look at that last taper.
Super cool, dude. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Look at that. And that is with really difficult texture. Number one, because my man is thinning. I could see it.
He's thinning on top, and then he has a cluster in the back, and then light on the sides. And yeah. But look at that fade, though.
Yep. I'm gonna take you to a couple other ones just so y'all can see.
The little boy.
So this is the best example. Compare this to the one we were talking about. Same haircut, believe it or not, the same haircut. Maybe a longer on top, but it's still a stretched out blend like that. Look at how beautifully stretched out this is.
Because it's gradient. It's gradient inside that one.
Created gradients.
Yeah, he created gradients in that one. Yeah. Hell yeah.
A nice amount of weight, but it's not.
I love that bulk. I love that bulk right there. Hell yeah.
Yep. Nice. He's nice with it, man. He really is.
He got so much better.
Yeah.
Hella quick too.
That's
what I'm saying. Like, remember I told you about people surpassing me in my journey?
Yeah.
Because he gets to do it every day. He's an actual barber, dog.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's clean.
That is clean. And he's got some tricks up his sleeve. I could see he's using some either some barber pencil or maybe that trick. I've seen people using the whole talc on the trimmer trick to give it that effect. You know what I mean? Of that sharp line on there. So he's not only perfected his blending skills, he's also added some extra little things onto his haircuts. Just give him that pop.
Hey, have you ever seen anybody do that scrape technique before me?
No. The only person I've seen do it, but differently, was Ron Legend. He did some form of a scrape, but it's not the way you do it. It's not the way you do it. not at all.
I wonder if this vato does it because he's part of the cojonudos.
Yeah.
Remember how I used to try to preach that to the cojonudos?
Yeah.
Look at that.
He gets down.
That's clean.
Yeah, my man David gets down for sure. Shout out to David. Thank you for letting us judge your haircuts too, bro. That takes a lot, you know what I mean? And we get to show some of the not so great ones down very below. But the funny part is it's such a small window. My man got that good that fast. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's good for him, man. Big time good for him. Cool. Is there any other ones that you want to jump into, or do you want to close this one up?
No, we can close it up.
All right, y'all. So that was the first segment of Fades or Flops. As you saw, we gave you a little bit of a taste of what this could look like, but we can only make it better if you share your work with us. If you want us to share your work, make sure that you drop it down below. You can give us your IG. You can follow us on our Barber Clips podcast IG page. Link is down below, or the name of our page is down below, or you can drop it in the comment section. We will go into your page. We'll go to your older cuts, newer cuts, give you some real feedback about what we see, and we'll tell you, most of all, if it's a fade or a flop. So make sure y'all follow through. If you want us to share your content or your work on our channel and this podcast, we're going to do that for you. All right. Is there anything else that you want to plug in before we move on to the next segment?
No, I want to make sure that everybody goes back and checks out that video that we dropped yesterday.
Yeah.
What you dropped, I dropped Frank the Barber influencer trimmer product review / unboxing / demonstration. So make sure you go back to Fades by Morales on YouTube. Check that out. And you?
Yep. And I dropped that undercut video. So if you have not checked that out so far, please do so. It could help you. Gives you a little bit of best practices about designs. I'm not a design master of any sort, shape, or form, but I do explain everything about how to set a design. And if you want to do an undercut of any sort, you get some best practices from how to taper out an undercut. That's it.
All right. Thank you.
We'll catch you on the next one.